What has filming a web comedy series taught you about doing more with less?
The biggest thing is trying to work with other people and trying to, like, especially if you're getting people to work for cheap or free or, like less than they would normally get for doing something. I think you have to kind of give them a vision for why they should want to do it. Like, they should be excited for the project. Should be making something cool, funny, fresh, something that they want to be part of, something that if they're not getting paid anything or a lot right now, maybe down the road could turn into something. Thinking about, well, what are their desires or goals, and like how can you meet them, or how can you guys meet halfway? I think it helps too to like take stuff as far as you can on your own before you bring other people in. Like if you've got scripts to show people, that's way better than if you just have an idea for a script. And if you've actually shot something already and you have that to show, that's going to be even better than a script. So like the more you can kind of prove the concept to people, the more I think likely you are to be able to get them on board for maybe, not what their normal rate is, sort of thing. I think also, you need to realize that there's a limited window on that. You can't just keep, milking people. People just don't have the time or the energy or the resources necessarily to donate, all the time. So, like hopefully it, you can have something that evolves into something bigger that does have a budget that's more substantial. Also, I just think people spend way too much on everything all the time. Like, I mean, I'm a cheap bastard, so like I just sort of apply, if I'm working on something, a project, I conduct it the same way I do my normal life, which is like I don't spend money if I don't have to. So like if I can use cheap props or film somewhere cheap, or just I think when people are spending other people's money, they spend it in a way different way than when they're spending their own. So I think it's just try to be a cheap bastard even when you're working on stuff. I don't know. I think having those constraints even when you start out, like knowing, okay, well, we need to do this all in one location or with these 3 actors, or it needs to be 60 seconds or less, or whatever your limitations are, and be like, okay, well, that's what it's got to be. So now fit into that, box or parameters and make it work. And I think that can actually, if you embrace that, it can actually kind of encourage creativity or take you to an interesting place, as opposed to being like, well, no, I need 5 locations and dozens of extras and, a budget of, all this money and all that stuff. Whereas like, is that really making it funnier or better? I think that's, probably the bigger question is like, okay, well, if this is a little rough around the edges or, kind of cutting some corners here or there, is that the thing that's really going to make it not as good, or is it just going to make it not as polished? And I don't always care a lot about polish. Like some rough edges are all right for me. Sometimes that's what makes it interesting.